Hey guys, welcome to this webinar. So this webinar is about how to deal with stress, and I thought I could help you by just doing this one webinar, but I realized as I made this little structure for the webinar that actually it is a big topic, and so I'm going to do a part 2 as well. But you should have enough with this part 1 to get started, and to you're going to have a little bit of homework for this month until the next the next webinar, which will be part 2 of how to deal with stress, because there are different factors involved in stress and dealing with stress. But let's get started. So the main thing that I wanted to make you understand today is that stress is actually just tension, and people call it stress, but depression is a form of stress, even though you associate stress with something that's going fast, and depression is sort of like something that's going slow, but all in all, stress is just tension. So you're experiencing some kind of psychological tension, yeah, and that is what we call in today's society stress. And you know, the biggest idea today that I want you to get is that tension always resolves. Tension will always resolve into something, because tension is just energy. So we can call it stress, we can call it burnout, we can call it depression, we can call it anger, we can call it fear, we can call it so many different names, but basically tension is just energy, yeah. And well, energy is bound to go somewhere, okay, and that's why it's important for you to understand that tension will always resolve. If tension is energy, energy is always resulting into something, yeah. So tension slash energy will always resolve itself, and tension, which is just energy, is the number one creative force. I repeat, tension is the number one creative force. Why? Because tension is just energy, and if you don't have energy, you can't create anything. If I didn't have energy, if this body didn't have energy, I would be dead, yeah. You cannot create anything if you don't have any energy to put in, yeah. So energy is the number one creative force. Tension is the number one creative force, okay. So that stress that you're experiencing is actually a creative force, yeah, but you're looking at it in a negative way. And so yeah, without energy you would be dead, basically. So what people call stress is actually just energy, but it's an energy that's built up to a certain level, and it starts becoming uncomfortable. And too much energy built up actually leads to some sort of explosion, some sort of release. I can't help but think of, you know, an orgasm, for example. There is so much tension going on in your body, on a sexual level. This is a positive one, that, you know, eventually you orgasm, and with the man it's very tangible, because if, you know, he's got that built up energy, and it comes to a point where he actually has to orgasm, and then that is how life force is created, because that's how babies are created, yeah. So there's this energy that's built up that actually has to be released, yes, and that is the creative force. And without that release, nothing gets created. I hope you understand. So yeah, too much energy built up leads to an explosion, a release of some kind. And, you know, it's like there's a point where your cup is full and it starts to come out of the cup. Basically, that's what it is. Yeah. So for example, if you put too much stress on your body, then you will get injured. Yeah. It has a consequence. You create something. And if you are, for example, too much, like if you are stressed out at work, then maybe your way of resolving that tension will be to yell at someone, have a fight with your colleague or something like that. Yeah. So because there is a point where that energy, whatever energy it is, it can be positive or it can be negative as well. Because there's a point where that energy needs to come out, you have to have a go at someone. You have to, you know, yell at someone, or you have to go and, you know, light up a cigarette, or you have to, you know, have a drink. Oh my God, I so need a drink right now. You know, that kind of stuff. Or for some people is, you know, they start eating. It's stress eating. Why do you think you're stress eating? Because when you're eating, you're resolving that stress. You're resolving that tension. You're investing that energy into eating. Yeah. So people have different ways of resolving their tension. And because, you know, by the way, tension is just all these feelings that make you feel uncomfortable. The reason why you try to get rid of tension is because it's uncomfortable. Yeah, the reason why you're trying to get rid of stress is because it's uncomfortable. And perhaps not so much on a physical level immediately, but definitely on a psychological level, it's uncomfortable. You don't know what to do with this feeling. Yeah, you just want to get rid of it. And so how do you get rid of it? You have a drink, you have a cigarette, you eat a piece of cake, you do some online shopping. Yeah. So different people have different ways of getting rid of their tension. Yeah. And, you know, in today's society, stress has been stigmatized as something bad. Yeah. But now, you know, stress is just tension, and tension is energy. So actually stress is just energy. So we've been putting this really, really negative concept onto stress, and no one wants to deal with it. Everyone just wants to feel good all the time and repress and not experience any negative emotions. And so actually stress occurs whenever you are experiencing a negative emotion because it's uncomfortable. When you're experiencing a negative emotion, it's uncomfortable, and so it creates tension. Yeah. And so, but you know, today we've in today's society, we just made up that, you know, stress is bad for you, and you know, we go to these stress management classes. Yeah. And as I said, different people have different ways of dealing with their stress. I know that for me, I like to have a joint when I'm stressed out. The first thing that comes to my mind is weed. Or another thing that comes to my mind is shopping. Let me go and make myself feel better. Yeah, that's how I resolve my tension. I bite my nails. That's also a way for me to resolve my tension. For some people, it's drinking. For others, it's you know, heavier drugs. And I'm not just talking about smoking weed or doing different drugs. I'm actually talking about, you know, taking you know, medicine, that makes you feel less stressed. So all these antidepressants pills, that's a way of resolving tension. What else? Watching TV aimlessly is a way to resolve tension. Eating is a way to resolve tension. Colluding with people about whatever it is that gives us tension. Shopping. Having lots of sex. and by the way, I'm not saying that having a glass of wine or having a cigarette or having a joint or shopping or having sex is bad. I'm just saying that there will be a different result whether you're doing that because you're trying to resolve tension or because you are actually enjoying that. Yeah. So I want you to take just a couple minutes. You can just pause the webinar and just make a list of all the things that you do to resolve your tension. Yeah. And just be really honest with yourself. And just, go through your day-to-day life. What do you do to bring comfort, when you're uncomfortable and you want to feel comfortable? And that can be smoking cigarette, that can be having a drink, that can be just anything, yourself. And so just observe yourself and make that list of all those things that you do to resolve your tension. And so once you've done that, so just pause the webinar, and once you're done, then we can continue. So I'll just continue, but you pause and do the exercise. So what do we do? So what do we do then, right? Because the problem with resolving your tension in doing all these things, having a cigarette, doing drugs, having unnecessary sex, or shopping, or doing whatever it is that you do, now that you're aware of it, the problem with resolving your tension in that way is that you're getting rid of the very energy that you're going to need in order to create your goals. So if you don't have energy, you can't create your goals. Creating your goals is going to require energy from you. And if you're constantly, and energy is tension, okay? And if you're constantly resolving your tension, then that means that you're constantly getting rid and leaking the very energy that you're going to need to create your goals. Yeah. A very good example is you're feeling tension and you go to the pub and you get smashed. Yeah. How do you feel the next day? Do you feel like going and creating your goals the next day? No, you're hungover. You feel like shit the next day. So that's a very good example, actually. So what do we do then? Well, we need to learn to transmute your negative tension into positive tension. Yeah. And if we consider that tension will always resolve, yes, so tension will always resolve. And if you consider that that premise, that tension always resolves, then if you were to hang with your tension and not resolve it in shopping or drinking or smoking or doing whatever it is that you do to resolve your tension, then that tension will have to get out at some point. Yeah. So, and the more you hang with that tension that you're experiencing, the less you resolve that tension, the more you hang with that tension, the more energy you're going to be able to build up in order to go and create your goals. Yeah. So if energy is bound to get released, then what do? So you're hanging with that energy. You're not smoking, you're not drinking, you're not resolving your stress. Yeah. So now you have sort of like a built-up of energy. Yeah. And well, with that energy, you must learn to transmute that negative built-up into positive built-up. You must learn to transmute your negative energy into positive energy. This is like alchemy 101. Yeah. I'm teaching you an alchemical premise here, which is really, really cool. I know when I learned this premise first time, I was just blown away by how much tension I was resolving on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, and I was not aware of how much energy I was wasting into things that did not do anything for me, and actually took away energy for me to go and create my goals. So what is that? How do you transmute your negative energy into a positive energy? Well, instead of using that energy built up to get smashed, or to buy the whole lot on Amazon, well, you need to use that built up energy to reach your goals. And again, this is the principle of transmutation. It's basically like like an artist who is experiencing depression, and instead of getting smashed and using drugs and having sex with a bunch of women and drinking till he doesn't feel the pain anymore, he actually goes and creates a beautiful painting. That is his way of channeling his negative tension. That is a very good example of how someone transmutes their negative energy into a positive energy. Instead of resolving your negative energy into drinking, smoking, sexing, shopping, eating, or whatever that is, or overworking and stuff like that, or sleeping, or mind numbing TV watching, you can use that built up energy into taking action towards your goal. And because the more amount of energy you have built up, the more result you're going to create, the more power is behind your action. Then when you have built up a good amount of energy, and you invest that energy into taking action towards your goal, then you will have an even bigger result from your action. Yeah. So for example, I'm creating different things, okay, and I know that it's stressful. Like it brings me tension. It's uncomfortable. It puts me in the unknown. I don't know how to do certain things. I have this vision. I feel like it's huge. It's scary. And so I experience tension in relation to my vision. Yeah. And so do you. And if you don't experience tension towards your vision, then there's something wrong with your vision. That vision is not challenging enough. Yeah. Because if you don't have tension towards your vision, you won't be able to create it. Yeah. Because you'll be dead, because you'll have no energy to give to your vision. So that vision that you have must create enough tension for you to go, oh fuck, this is my vision. It's big. I feel intimidated, or it's scary. It's exciting, but I feel scared, or whatever it is. You must feel the tension. In the sense, you must feel the discrepancy between where you are now and where you want to reach in your vision. And my way of resolving my tension, as I said before, is to smoke weed. And so I know that if I smoke weed on a regular basis, I'm just going to be leaking out that energy, valuable energy that I actually could use towards taking action towards my vision. Yeah. So when I've had those periods, those moments in life where I've engaged in weed smoking on a regular basis, I have actually felt that my energy levels were very low. And I'm not just talking about, you know, physical level and how it affects your energy level and your physical body, but I'm talking about, you know, because I was constantly resolving my tension by smoking weed, then I didn't have that energy when the time was needed for me to invest that energy into taking action towards my goal. Yeah. So, for example, let's say tomorrow I have a workshop. Yeah. I have tension because tomorrow I have a workshop. I'm a little bit nervous. You know, I'm thinking about all the things that I need to do to get done, and, you know, how is it going to be? And I don't want to make a mistake. And I want everything to be good and to work fine. And so I'm experiencing tension and it's uncomfortable. Yeah. And so obviously I'm tempted to smoke a joint the night before I do my workshop. I could, but I know that by me doing that, I am getting rid of the very energy that I'm actually gonna need to host my workshop. Yeah. Can I still host my workshop after I've smoked weed? Yes, I can, but I can guarantee you that my energy level is not gonna be the same at all, because I will have resolved some of my energy. I will have leaked some of my energy and wasted it on smoking a joint. Yeah. And so I'm not going to have as much energy built up when the time comes I need to present my workshop. So I'm going to leave you with that, because I feel like it's quite a lot of information, and it's perhaps a concept that you've never come across. And so I just really want that this concept to really sink in with you. And do you know what? If you're skeptical, I challenge you to try it. To just really try it. Try, you know, why do you think that for so many people it's so hard to stop smoking, or to stop drinking, or to stop eating? Yeah. Obviously there's an addiction factor. Yeah, but every addiction has a psychological background. Yeah. So, you know, outside of the physical, chemical addiction, there's also a psychological addiction to something. Yeah. So just try it. Just observe. You know, you made a list about all those things that you do to resolve your tension. And this month, you know, from now until the next workshop, I really want you to observe yourself when you are resolving your tension, and to really notice how you feel afterwards, and to really notice the difference. And if you can, I would really strongly suggest that you because now you've become aware of the things that you do to resolve your tension, and actually you might become aware of other things that you didn't know that you did to resolve your tension. Yeah. Or things that you don't necessarily do all the time, but you do sometimes. Yeah. So just really observe yourself, give yourself the space. If you are resolving your tension, if you are smoking weed or drinking, you know, don't judge yourself or anything, but just be aware of, I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I'm just having a good time with my friends? Or am I doing this because I have some tension running in the background, you know, and I'm unconsciously trying to resolve this right now? So just really ask yourself and see what comes up, and observe yourself. Give yourself the space to experiment with this, and just try this out for the whole month, and see how you feel. See what it is that you do. You know, make notes of yourself, and try. If you want to go to the next level, then try not to resolve your tension. You know, try not to indulge in energy wasting. Yeah, you're basically wasting your energy. And I'm not saying that, you know, once in a while I don't have a smoke. You know, I actually do. But it's but I know for example, the day before a workshop, no, there is no way. Why? Because I've done it before, and I've seen. I have actually gone and tested this, and I have resolve my tension prior to taking a big step towards reaching my goal. And I have seen the difference in the results that I create for myself because of the difference in the energy that I had when I took that action, because I had resolved some of the energy previously in something totally useless. Yeah. So that's it. This is the end of the webinar. This was kind of like a short one. How long has it been? I can't really see because I'm on my phone tonight. Yeah, I feel like this is an important, very important lesson. And so I'm gonna leave you here, and we'll be doing part 2 next month. And really this month, from now until the next webinar, just really play this game and just observe yourself. Yeah. Until then, ciao, ciao. And if you have any questions about this, then don't hesitate to ask me, and also share what is it that you got for yourself. What are the observations that you are making with regards to this lesson tonight. Cool, guys. So see you soon, and keep in touch. Bye bye.